it's Brittany at Ingleside Imaginarium, and I hope you will excuse the way I sound. I might sound a little congested, and that is because last week I went to the Austin Flosstube Retreat, in Austin, and then I came home and I promptly caught a cold. So I'm in that kind of leaky stage, which hopefully won't be an issue during this video, but if I sound a little funny, that would be why. And like I mentioned, I just went to the Flosstube Retreat last week and I had a great time. I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit about my experience there. Unfortunately, I don't have many pictures or any video because my phone always seems to be lacking in memory, but I have lots of great personal memories to share. And then I have two new dragons to show you, which are October's dragons and the Birthstone Dragon Sal, if you haven't seen them from somebody else already, now that it's the middle of the month again. And then I have some progress on some whips, as well as some beautiful fabric haul that I purchased last week at the retreat. And also something very exciting that I want to share with you. It is a sneak peek at next year's Mystery Stitch Along from Ingleside Imaginarium. Yes, let's go ahead and get started with the stitchy stuff. I guess firstly I will talk about the Flosstube Retreat, so that's kind of fresh in my mind and I can tell you about it. It was Friday through Sunday, and I left New York City Friday morning. I believe my flight left at about 10 o'clock. Well, I got to the airport in plenty of time, and we get on the plane. Everything's, going on time. I before the trip, I had through the Facebook group, I had arranged to share a ride with Jen from Delicious Threads, and she ended up, I guess, getting in contact with another woman who was going to the Flosstube Retreat, who also does videos, Sammy J Stitches, and so we were all, she's a Texas native, and was planning to drive and had a car and offered to pick us up. So I was messaging everybody and saying, oh, I'm on my plane, can't wait to meet you guys. Well, an hour and a half later, I'm still in New York, and I have only an hour layover in Atlanta. And so they make a message, they get on, over the intercom. Granted, and let me tell you, we boarded the plane on time and did not leave that plane again. So we were sitting in New York on the plane, on the runway, for a long time. And it was electrical issues. So, of course, I'm grateful that for safety reasons, they check all that out and make sure everything is safe. But I was very frustrated because I found out before we took off, they made announcements that said everyone who was making a connection that was not going to Tampa were going to be rebooked. And I'm on the plane, so I look up, we're still on the ground, I look up the next few flights that will land, go from Atlanta to Austin, and the next one was not going to get there until 8:30, and I was supposed to get there at 3 o'clock. So 3 o'clock, 8:30, that's 5 hours. So I was a little upset. I was very frustrated because it was an expensive trip, and I felt like I was basically paying all that money to be there for one day. So I was very frustrated, and I thought to myself, just, you're on the plane, go to bed, because I had stayed up very late finishing some things for the Flosstube Retreat. And so I went to sleep on the plane. When we're about 20 minutes outside of Atlanta, we get an announcement that said, those of you that are flying to Austin, wanted to let you know we're going to hold the plane for you since there are so many of you going there. So I literally raised my hands in joy and gratitude. And I ended up getting to Texas only 15 minutes after I was supposed to be there. So everything worked out fine. I messaged Jen and Sammy and said, it's a cross-stitch miracle. I'm gonna get there on time. So I land and Sammy's there to pick us up. She picks me up first because Jen hadn't landed yet, and she picks me up and we're chatting and we're both, you know, kind of saying, you know, I'm a little nervous to be around so many people I don't know, and you know, I personally, it was really silly. I was thinking, you know, I think of a lot of these Flosstubers as friends, but I was kind of nervous that they were better friends with other people, and so that I wouldn't have people to sit with and talk to and stitch with, which is very silly, of course, but it was, you know, a concern. And so it was kind of nice for Sammy and I to meet each other on a smaller scale and kind of then be stitchy buddies a little the rest of the weekend. So Jen lands, we get her picked up, and then we head to the hotel. And a lot of people were already there, and I go in. Well, one of the funny things is I asked her who was there already, and she was listing names, and she said, oh, and Trisha was there. I was like, which Trisha? Trisha 3L or Trisha the left-handed stitcher? And she said both, and I was just so excited. I think when I landed, I all of a sudden felt just excited. Still a little nervous, but a lot more excited. And I get there and I come in and see all the familiar faces, and it's so bizarre to see everybody in person. It's very surreal, actually. I think I told, someone's mentioned, you know, proportions. I saw a coffee stitcher and he is much taller for whatever reason than I had anticipated, and we decided it's because he sits on his floor when he does his videos, and so you know, you can't really gauge against his background how tall he is. But it was really neat to see everybody in person, and everyone was so friendly, and you know, you can talk to them just like I'm talking to you guys right now. Yes, it was really fantastic. I want to shout out Sammy especially. Thanks for coming to pick me up at the airport and you know, driving me around and letting me tag along with you a few places to eat and stuff. It really meant a lot to have somebody there that I could hang out with, so shout out to you. And then, you know, there's so many names and everyone's been mentioning it, and of course I don't want to forget anybody, but it was really awesome to meet you all in person, and I think it's just going to make the, you know, acquaintances that we have through Flosstube even stronger, more exciting. I don't know what you want to call it, but more meaningful maybe, that I've met you all in person and now feel like, of course, we've actually met. I kept saying, oh, it's good to see you, and everyone else was like, it's good to meet you, and I was like, oh yeah, that's right, we haven't actually met yet. So I just was, you know, thinking, oh, it's so good to see you, because that's how I feel when I see your videos. So anyway, it was really great. What else were the highlights? I don't know, you know, it all is kind of a blur. We stayed up until midnight stitching each night, and then yeah, I'll go into a little bit more, I guess. I have some haul from my retreat to show off. Oh, one of the things that I did when I went to retreat is I prepared a whole bunch, not a whole bunch, I had 11 of my animal pin cushions to sell. I'm happy to report only 9 came back, which is really fantastic. Thank you to everyone who purchased one. I'm sorry, only 2 came back. It's this cold. I'm gonna blame this cold. Please bear with me. Already I've noticed so many things that I've said wrong, and I'm like, just keep going, just keep going, just keep going. So maybe I'll go into that haul right now, since it's all kind of the Flosstube Retreat package, and then it can all be wrapped up nicely. Give me 1 second. I just realized I forgot a piece of haul across the room. All right, I'm back. Speaking of the pin cushions, unfortunately I don't have pictures of all of them, but you may have seen them around Instagram and Stitch Mania. And I might see if I can steal some photos from other people of the ones they purchased who have shared photos. But I wanted to show you the two that are left that came back. I have a white cat with a pink tummy and blue eyes. There she is. I might do some trimming up of her fur just to, because that's what she's supposed to look like. Kind of have the little cheek puffs coming off. Get her proportions a little better. But that is one that's left. And then this guy is left as well. And here you can see the pin cushions, or you know how they function as pin cushions. And he has a stitched tummy, stitched in a variegated thread, kind of looking like a dragon's belly scales, and then big red eyes, and felt spikes and felt wings. So he came back home with me. So I told you I was staying up late I stayed up really late getting these ready, and I only had gotten them ready enough to bring them with to finish. So I actually was working on these for most of the retreat. He was the last one to be finished. So I kind of think that's why he didn't find a home. But I think he's cute. Anyhow, these will most likely be going up into my Etsy store. If you are interested and you don't see them there, go ahead and put a message in the comments, and I'll be able to put them up there on reserve for you. Thank you to everyone who purchased one of those, and you know, I'm just so pleased that people liked them. And now I'll show you the fabrics that I got. I'm sure you, as you've heard, Leslie from Under the Sea Fabrics was in attendance, and she brought this whole kind of mini LNS situation. And I got to see a lot of her lovely fabrics in person. I've been seeing them online from everyone's Fabric of the Month club subscriptions, but this is the first time I got to see any of her fabrics in person, and I purchased some. So I'll shut those off because sometimes it's nice to see them in a video instead of just in a picture. The first piece I got is a piece of Strawberry Swirl 28 count linen, and it's just a really pretty strawberry swirl color. Yeah, I really like this because it looks almost as if like this is the base color of the linen, you know, rather than it like being a white linen with dye on it, and then the pinky red is on top. I don't have anything in particular to stitch on these. I just wanted to buy some of the pretty fabric. I really like this one. This one is called Lapis, and it is a 28 count linen as well. Oh my gosh, look how pretty that is. Gorgeous. Let's see the other side. Wow, I love it. I love the shape of the modeling she gets. Sometimes it's, you know, all very similar, but I think she does a good job with some of these. I don't know, just the way that the colors end up on the fabric, I think are really neat. This is a 28 count linen as well, called Whimsical Winter. I like that as well. That's pretty. Obviously, it's pretty rough. I wouldn't have picked it. And then this was like kind of an impulse buy just because it was so sparkly and pretty. This is called Ice Princess. It's a little bigger. So you can see there, really nice icy blues. And what you cannot see is that it's an opal linen, 28 count. So it's sparkly. You can kind of see it a little bit there. But I really like this piece of fabric. I don't know what I'll stitch on it, but it's going to be something special someday. And then I also got some fabrics for some future patterns. Oh, that I was going to show you because it's fun to show off pretty fabric. Here it is. So I've talked to you in the past about my new series of dragons. After the seasonal dragons are going to be the elemental dragons. And they're going to be bigger and blingier. They're going to be like mirabilia of dragons. And while I was there and could see all these fabrics in person, I thought, you know, it'd be really great to be able to buy and decide what these are going to go on and have them in preparation. So Water Dragon is the one that is closest to being designed and ready to stitch. And ironically, that is the one that I did not find a fabric for in person. I found something I liked, but I think it was the wrong count. So I had to ask Leslie to custom dye it, a piece of that for me, which it's in the mail, so maybe I'll be able to show that to you next week. But I picked the other 3 dragons in this series as well, because elemental, we have water, earth, air, and fire. And so these dragons I all have little sketches done for. I know what they're gonna look like, but they haven't been designed yet. So I have, you know, an idea of what would look nice. So I was able to buy some fabrics for them. These are all 28 count fabrics. This is a Lugana in Sea God. You can see there, it's a light yellow green, kind of olivey, but Earth Dragon's gonna go on here. And Earth Dragon's gonna have rich browns as well as greens in him. So I think that's gonna look really nice. So that's what Earth Dragon is going to go on. Sea God. And then Air Dragon is going to have, she's going to be white with kind of the Aurora colors as her accents. And this is a piece of Zephyrus, which is also 28 count Lugana. Oh, wow. I just love it. I love these shapes. Oh yeah, that's really pretty. Blues, purples. I love it, I love it. How many times can I say I love it? And then the last piece I have to show you is for the Fire Dragon. This is Love Child, 28 count Jobelin. Wow, 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 wow. Doesn't that look like fire? Smoke? I love it. He's going to be really cool on that. And he's going to be, I think, black with magma-y colors coming through. So, yes, I'm very excited that I have these fabrics. And what actually could be nice is that I'll have the fabrics picked for them so that when I'm designing them, I can floss toss while I'm doing it and make sure that things look good. So that is my time. No. I have a few more things. We got some gifts from people, and I also won a raffle. So Angela Gibson made us all grime guards, and so I have my very first grime guard. It fits my 8x8 Q-snap. It was so kind. She made one for everybody. How generous is that? And I'm really excited to use it. So thank you, Angela. Again, that's Gibbs Girl Stitches. And I'll make sure to put it here, and I'll put it in the description so you can go and watch her videos if you haven't watched any yet. And then Kate, the Queen of Starts, made, well, first of all, I'm sure you've seen them. She made these adorable Flosstube Retreat October 2017 needle minders. Really cute, and you'll see what that is later. That's a sneak peek also. And then she gave us she made everybody a little collapsible Ort jar container, Ort pouch. So I have been using it. And she also, and I don't know if I stuck it in here, she made a few other needle minders. This is one of them that I got with my first pack, and then there were some extras because some people couldn't come. And I ended up also with a New York needle minder, and I'm gonna have to find where that went because it's really pretty. And everyone saw it and was like, "Oh, Brittany needs this," because she lives in New York. And I'm not sure where it ended up with after the trip. I had a lot of stuff, so I'm gonna have to find that. I'm sure it's here somewhere. One of the other exciting things about the retreat is there was a raffle. What was really neat is it was in honor of Beverly Evanger, which if you have been around Flosstube, you know, for at least the last year, you will know who she is. She commented on everybody's videos, no matter if they had 50 subscribers or 3,000 subscribers. And she was very ill and passed away earlier this year. So we had a raffle that the proceeds would go to an animal shelter in her area in her honor. And one of the things that was in there was a gift basket from Leslie that she had put together. And I did not expect this at all. I kind of, you know, I saw things and I did want some things, but you can't, being in theater especially, it's like you can't let yourself want anything too bad because then you get disappointed when you don't get it, and then it's just not worth being upset. So I kind of put some money in with the main thought of donating to Beverly's memorial donation. And I won this really cool gift basket. It had all kinds of stuff in it, and I'll show off some of what's in there. This is a magnetic kind of floss sorter, which is neat. Some beautiful snips. And I've kept it all in the basket and haven't opened anything yet so that I would know that it was all together. A snag nabbit, some Stitcher's lotion, a needle threader, which I've never had one of those before. This really cute pin cushion, or just tiny cushion. It says, "May your bobbin always be full." I wish that was the case. A pack of needles, which is really nice. These, I wasn't sure what they were, but then Coffee Stitcher told me that they are froggers. So they are these, I think they're just needles with a charm on the end, I guess, so you don't lose them. That one's really neat. It's the White Rabbit. And then this one is a teapot. See that? Sorry, there you can see it a little. So that's interesting. I didn't know that was a thing. I guess they're kind of dull needles that you can use to frog, which might be nice because then I don't, maybe I won't bend my stitching needle so much if I have designated frogging needles. I don't know. This is a thread cutter necklace, which is really pretty. Good colors for me, I would say. Oranges and reds. And then also another Ort pouch. So it was a nice little box of goodies in there. There was also a mug. She makes these really cute mugs that have sayings on it. The one that was in here said, "I run on coffee, cross stitch, and cuss words." And only one of the three applied to me. So I gave that away to one of the other stitchers at the retreat. Oh, and then I almost forgot to show you. So these are from the Silk Mill, and they're really beautiful silk threads in so many different colors. I'm going to enjoy getting a chance to experiment with some silk threads. I'm really excited about that. So that was a really fun surprise to get to win that and bring that home. So yes, very exciting. Thanks, Leslie, for donating that in there. I also donated one of my custom pin cushions to the cause to the raffle, and it was funny because I won the thing Leslie put in and she won the thing I put in, so that was kind of fun. I had to leave on Sunday, and it was sad to say goodbye to everybody, especially knowing that some of them still had a day of stitching ahead of them. I felt a little bad, like I was leaving the party early, but it was just such a treasured time. Like I said it was expensive, but it was worth it. Yeah, it just was really special, magical to be able to see you all in person. I did get a little bit of stitching done there. I actually started 2 new pieces. So I'm going to go into my cross-stitching part of the video, which will be starting with the 2 dragons that I have to show you, going into whip progresses, and then I'll do my finishes last. So it is the middle of October, which means the October Dragons officially released in the Ingleside Imaginarium Birthstone Dragon cell. And here is what the whole thing looks like at the moment. I can't believe there are only 2 more spaces to fill. And this is one of 2 color options for the October Dragon. This is the Opal Dragon. You can see there she uses, sneak peek, I guess. You can see there she uses all of the, well, I looked at a real opal and tried to include all the colors that were in there. So it was like light greens and blues, and I really liked that there was some bright orange in a few of the stones I was looking at. And so I really like this one. This is a Ryu, by the way, which is the Japanese dragon. Looks very similar to the Chinese dragon, the long. They are, you know, a little different, but they also are very similar. The other color option for the October Dragon is the Tourmaline Dragon, and that is the Tourmaline Dragon. Technically pink slash this version is watermelon tourmaline because it has the green and the pink. Look that stone up. It's really cool. Looks like watermelon. That's why it has the name watermelon tourmaline, but it makes me hungry. So this was before, those were the only 2 finishes, but I do have some progress to show you. This was before the retreat. I did a little more work on my Targaryen house banner, which will look like this. And I'm stitching this on Valyrian Steel by Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie in the color 817. And I have the first kind of motif done, the first band done, which are those arrows. I really like how this color is looking on this gray. I know I said, you know, I was a little hesitant about the gray in the end because it wasn't a Targaryen color, but I think that's going to look really neat. So that was exciting. I felt really good putting that down, having finished that first, you know, band. Next thing to show you is, we haven't seen her in a while. This is my Piper Wright Fallout pinup. Fallout is a video game, and this is a character from her that from the game that I really like. This is what she'll hopefully look like eventually. And that artwork is done by an artist called Crystal Graziano, who I contacted to ask if I could use her work and convert it into a cross-stitch pattern, which she said I could. This is what I have so far. The last time you saw her, she did not have a face, and now she has most of a face. I won't lie, the impetus for doing this is I've already spent hours on this project, and then I was watching Coleman's video, and she was talking about this piece that she's doing of another video game character from the game Fable, and she's doing the protagonist, and she got to his face, and his eyes are just black holes. And then I panicked, and I thought, what if Piper's eyes are black holes. And so I thought, excuse me, I'm gonna count up and get her face done. So I got most of her face done, at least enough for me to feel like, okay, her eyes aren't black holes. Colvin, I'm sorry that your eyes are black holes. I'm not sure if you figured out what to do about that yet, but anyhow, so now she has a lot of a face done. It's kind of freaky. She looks a little bit like a friend of mine, someone I went to school with in that stitch version here. But yeah, she's coming along. I was very encouraged to see that her face is gonna look like a face. So I would like to get back and finish that face, hopefully sometime in the near future, but I have so much to stitch, I don't know that that will happen. Okay, so the next few I'm gonna consider new starts. Sorry, I was missing one. And two of these were from the retreat, so I'll start there. Since it is October and Emily C was at the retreat, I thought that I needed to stitch on something that we could consider dark for Dark October. She kind of started that whole thing. And so I mentioned this last time, but I started the Halloween from Nimue Designs, or Nimu, however it is said. And this is called Halloween. And what was exciting is that I started this on a fabric that I bought from Leslie, which I didn't show you in my haul, but this is what I have done. This is a 40 count in Winterbrook, and I just saw this fabric and I really liked it. And actually I didn't even think to stitch on this when I bought it, but I just fell in love with the fabric, and then it turns out that I thought it would look nice with this design. So it's going to be very small because of course it is 40 count. I'm stitching it over 2, and then that's what I have done so far. I worked on this for Dark 13 stitching as well, Friday the 13th. In October, spooky day, so some spooky stitching. And I've actually had kind of some trouble with this. When I was at the retreat, I thought I had brought all of the floss it was possible to bring, because I knew I was going to try and start this, and I just didn't have time to pull out all the colors I was going to need. So I just brought everything, and I was missing a color. But luckily, Pam, Rose City Stitcher, was there, and she let me borrow a color I needed to get started. And then there was other colors I missed, and then when I got home I realized I had to frog some, which frogging on 40 count is not terribly fun. But yes, so that is a new start. Another new start I have, I'm going to show this one first. So this one was not a new start at the retreat, it's just barely a new start. And this is actually kind of inspired by my new friend Sammy, because before I went to the retreat I was binge watching her Flosstube, which I'm going to put a link down to hers down there, and she has done some of the books Advent Animals, and I got home and I was kind of like, I want to get back to that. So this is a whip you guys haven't seen in a long time. For those of you that are concerned about this mess, this is a backwards Katie Kitty, because I started her on the wrong side of the fabric. There's more variegation on this side, but my plan is to finish these all as ornaments. So, and I will have to now because I don't know what to do about that. So I should be cutting them apart, and then she'll be fine. She'll fit in with everybody else. But I had the first 6 finished. You've seen those before, and then I started the 7th one, barely. I got the border and the snow at the bottom done and started on the belly. This is Pure Penguin, and he's gonna be very cute. He's the penguin who's drinking a martini and kind of giving flirty eyes. It's just so silly. I love these because they all have such personality in them. Okay, and here's the exciting start. I started the model stitch for the Ingleside Imaginarium Mystery Stitch Along for 2018. So this is a fabric that I showed you in the last one. It is a sterling by Picture This Plus. It's Lugana, and it is a fat quarter. So it does require a bigger fabric than last year. It's also going to be using a hand-dyed floss in it, but I'll provide an alternative, you know, a suggested floss for an alternative that's just DMC. But here is the very center of the design, and I'm a little nervous about this, but also very excited. Just a little background. I was inspired to design this after my trip to Europe. So if you're trying to guess what this could be, I was in Paris, I was in Wales, and I was in London and Bath. So I don't know if that's going to give you any hints as what it could be. Does not involve dragons, but it does involve creatures. And it's going to be an unconventional shape compared to most of these mystery stitch-alongs. It was one of those things where everyone has been asking me all year, oh, what are you doing for next year? I hope you do one for next year. And for a while I was like, I hope I do one for next year, but I don't know what it's going to be. And then I came up with this idea and it just clicked. You know, the inspiration struck, and so that's why I'm going with this. So you can see there it has, this is just a DMC, this dark color, and then this lighter color is going to be the variegated thread. This is Moonlit Path by Gentle Arts. So I'm very excited about this. This looks great already, and I'll be really excited to see how it stitches up. So timeline on this new SAL, I'm hoping to have the border model stitched by next month so that I can announce the SAL and the actual theme probably mid-November, and then hopefully be able to start selling the pattern in December. I want to say December 1st, but I also need to get Winter Dragon ready for December 1st. So I think I'll just, and obviously I want to do December 1st. You guys have plenty of time to stitch the border for those of you that want to join in the stitch along. And I've got a lot to think about how I want to distribute it. So, but yeah, hopefully that's exciting for some of you. You floss tubers got a sneak peek there of what the design is. So don't spoil it for other people. And yeah, I'm excited to share it with you guys. I just hope you like it. It's very different from the last year's SAL, but I think, you know, that's good because you wouldn't want all of them to look the same, right? So yes, I believe that's almost it. And I just realized that I forgot a little bit of haul from the retreat because it was under all of my whips and it revealed itself as I went through the pile. This is a book that you guys will be familiar with if you watch Flosstube. This is Paula Vaughn's Quilts for All Seasons. I was sitting next to Sammy and she brought a whole bunch of stuff for the Pass the Stash table, which I did not contribute anything to because I was so busy trying to get those pin cushions ready that I completely forgot to bring some stuff, although I have some stuff I could have contributed. Anyhow, she was flipping through the stuff she was going to put on the table and I looked over and I was like, oh, that's a great book. And she was like, well, you want it? And I was like, oh, I thought, you know, you don't want it? And she said, no, I don't really care for the way the charts are laid out and that kind of thing. So I was like, well, yeah, if you want to give it to me, that'd be great. And she did. So thanks again, Sammy. You not only picked me up from the airport and drove me around and stitched with me, but you also gave me a present. So thank you. I don't know when I'll be able to start any of these things, but it's nice to have just to look. So yes, I believe that is everything. Except for one thing I want to show you, but I have to go get it. So just because kittens grow really fast, I wanted to go and get Rhaegar. If you'll remember last week, or last time, he was a very small boy. Kind of a small boy, but also a big boy. He's even bigger. He is so big. He was laying down next to me in this bed the other day, and he was long as I was. So he's not going to enjoy it, but I'm gonna show you how long he is. I just woke him up. He was sleeping on the kitchen floor because Danny was also sleeping on the kitchen floor. It was kind of cute, but I'm like, why weren't you guys sleeping in here with me? I know, but we have to show them how big you are now. So he is already very long. And like, he was stretched out. He was about as long as my leg. And I'm a short person, so it's not that long, but still. His face is getting bigger, but it's still kitten small, so I have a feeling he's gonna be even taller. But like, just look at these big old paws. Like, those are some big paws. He's gonna be a big boy. He's already as tall as Danny. But good news is, if you couldn't tell by, look at that spotty dog. If you couldn't tell by, he doesn't want to be here, I'm sorry. You're a cat, you have to be here. So Flosstube can see you. He and Danny sleep next to each other. They don't cuddle yet. Danny does not let that happen. But they can sleep on the bed at the same time. And they were, you know, she tolerated him sleeping next to her in the kitchen just now. And they play. Danny makes a big fuss about it most of the time. But you can definitely tell that they play. And the fun thing is I've been teaching this guy tricks because he loves food so much. And he can sit and he can high five, and we're learning that, I don't know if you've seen the videos on Facebook. There's a video going around about how you can teach your cat to jump through your arms if you make a hoop out of them, and we're learning to do that. So that's pretty cool. He's a pretty good boy. Yeah, he's growing. Just wanted to give you a Rhaegar update. And with that, it is now time to depart. I'll get to editing this so you guys can see it. And then it's back to work in the morning, and hopefully get some good rest tonight so I can feel a little better in the morning. I'm not even on cough medicine, you guys, but I'm definitely, I don't know what it is. But yeah, thank you guys so much for your likes. Thank you for your subscribes. Anyone new who has subscribed, thank you for continuing to comment and watch my videos, and your interest in my stitching and in my designs. Your support in that aspect of things is essential. You know, it's a lot of work to design patterns and to aim my creativity that way, and but it's worth it because you guys, it's neat to see you guys stitch them. And it's neat to, sorry, Rhaegar was eating Danny's dinner, of course. Hey, Rhaegar. Hey, stop that. I gotta go. I love you all. Rhaegar, no! Gotta go stop that. Anyway, I'll see you next time. Happy stitching.